السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري وأشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. Amen. We have been studying the section Yasin and we studied up to page 80. Verse 80, and we're quite close to the end. So, but this section, the last section of Yasin, is extremely important. That is why we have been studying them a bit intensively compared to others. Now, we can just start, if you don't have any questions concerning the previous discussions, we can continue from verse 80. Would you like to bring up any concerns from the previous discussions? Otherwise, I will sorry. Okay, I will just read Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون. Do we remember the previous ones? This one, how the man, he argues about us while he overlooks how he himself was created. He says, who will give life to the decayed bones? We talked about it. That is what the subject started now about talking resurrection, the possibility of to be recreated. So, قل يحييها الذي أنشأها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم, and say, he who first brought them, the bones, into being, gives them life again. He has knowledge of every act of creation. So, referred to his previous existence as something he has been experiencing right now. So, think about who gave you existence and life, and who gave existence and life to your bones. He will do it because he knows what he has been creating. Okay, this is, we said, quite reasonable. However, you explain your present existence, then you can expect the creator, the source of existence of your present day being. He will do it. He can do it again because he did it. You are experiencing it. But if someone denies that he is not created, he just happened to be accidentally with no agent, for this person, there is no way to believe in the resurrection, because who is going to do it? Accidentally happened to be here in this world. There is no conscious agent. There is no deliberate choice behind this existence. So this argument seems to be very strong, but if someone doesn't accept that he In order to explain his existence, he has to be created. He has to understand that he needs to be created by a conscious being deliberately gave him existence and life. There is no way to convince this man. So we have to go back. Let's talk about your present existence. How do you explain it? So stop talking about resurrection to this kind of people. And the argument strangely apparently changes the subject as if, I don't think it is, we will talk about it. It says immediately afterwards, he who produces fire for you from green trees. Now, the subject is nothing to do with resurrection, seems to be. So that you use them to light your fires. Again. Fire is there, you use it to start another fire. There is a really, really deep down secret reference to resurrection. If we think about it, look, we produce fire for you from green trees, contradictory. Green tree and fire. One of them is alive and fire. But you use this fire to light your fires. So my questions. Now be careful. The Quran always connects the meanings then with the following verses, previous verses. That's why if somebody somebody wants to corrupt the creation, the Quran, he has to take one verse and take it out of its context, immediate context, and also the context of the purpose of the Quran. This person can interpret this verse any way he wants. That's what Orientalists do. We have to be very careful. That's why some people with a secret, the secret means not openly declared agenda, not the political agenda, they do. So we have to be very careful when they recite or quote a verse. You look at the verse, you say, this man is really saying or telling me the truth. This verse means nothing. For example, this one, who produces fire for you from green trees so that you use them to light your fires. What is it to do with anything? What am I going to do? I know, out of green tree dies, green tree dies, and then it becomes a dry wood. And then out of this wood, I can burn it. And that's what I know, that I don't need any further explanation. What is it? What is this? I know this. What this Quran is telling us? Ridiculous, isn't it? It seems to be reasonable understanding of the verse and, of course, corrupting the purpose of the verse. Now, there are these are very close connection between the previous verse and the following verse, especially between the general purposes of the revelation, the Quran. It really fits perfectly within them. We have to be careful now. So why does the verse suddenly turns to the subject of creating fire from green trees? Now, I have to tell you something that also uh, can be found among inevitable not to find it if you really know the classical sources. They say the people in the desert made fire by uh, striking two pieces of certain trees, and of course the fire comes out, sparkles come out, and out of these sparkles they burn and they start their fire. That is correct, but I feel uh, deeper than this, deeper than this, because fire is created now. Uh, Fire is created out of wood, out of coal, which is originally wood again, out of fuel, which is originally something they say, I don't know, I may be suspicious about it, but that's the way they present. A huge animal lived one time, and the I don't really, I didn't, I'm not satisfied with this understanding. So this ga gas and oil uh, reserves under the uh, earth is out of this. But whatever it is, God really prepares everything for future. We don't know how wise he is, exactly how much wise he is. And he takes care of coal needs and fuel needs and God needs and how are they called? Core of onion, core of aluminum, all of them, the materials. How do you call them? Reservoirs in the mountains, and the people take them and purify them and get copper, iron, other materials, and all sorts of things are really prepared under the ground for human usage. They are waiting to be discovered and used. That is how wise the Creator is. Anyways, so out of all these things come out inevitable event, inevitable way of creation. Water wets the earth, and out of water, trees and plants grow, animals grow. They are created within this process as far as we can observe the universe, the earth. And later on, this tree dries and becomes, origin of the tree is what? Water. So it turns or created in the form of wood. And out of wood, fire comes. In fact, everything in its essence includes fire in it. That is also, it is not our subject, we shouldn't confuse, but that is also somehow, secondarily refers to fire, usage of the word fire for hell in the Qur'an. But it needs deep thinking. For the moment, let's forget about it. Just give a hinting to it so we can think about it. So everything has it is, although they are good, for example, tree is Very good. And also very interesting sign of the creator. Yeah, but it has in its origin, in its essence, to be a source of fire as well. It means some materialist people look at the trees, and see them how they are working, how they are being created, but they may interpret it that tree itself is growing. That is the fire side of the tree. They are getting represents hell. So, but that is the really an arbitrary choice not to accept the creator because they don't have the evidence to show that life, energy, human senses, animal senses share the same nature so with the matter, so that matter may turn into a life. It is completely contradictory to each other. They also admit this. They cannot really accept consciousness, though they cannot really interpret consciousness, life, human feelings as originating from the matter. They have no evidence whatsoever, but they say, we are searching. Wait, for 100 years, this materialistic uh, interpretation of scientific studies developed in Europe when Muslims stopped studying the universe because of this Mongol or Mughal, whatever they call it, maybe a tribe from Central Asia demolished Baghdad. All these resources are gone, and all the books were burned and thrown into the river. And this really wild people destroyed everything. Anyways, and then, of course, the Muslim world lost its interest in scientific studies. They were more concerned with economical survival. Something happened, and scientific studies was transferred to Europe. After Europe took up this, they turned it into the materialist ideology, because when they started studying the universe, Christian church strongly rejected it, executed them, killed some of them, and excommunicated most of them. And they took a certain attitude against religion, and still it is continuing. That is why we understand in the West, science turned into a material document or data for materialistic worldview, because believing people lost their opportunity to study the universe. Anyway, this is historical background. That is why we have to know what is going on in the world, so that I will understand why we cannot really understand deep down the meaning of the Qur'an, because we don't have scientific data to be produced by believing people. So everything is covered up by materialistic worldview, and we cannot use the universe anymore to read the Quran alongside with the universe as a witness to the reality, the truth of the Quran. But inshallah, we will try here as much as we can, as a modest group here, friends. So let's see now. Oh, do you think fire represents something related to resurrection? Now, uh, my my feeling definitely, because look, living body, and go ahead.
I have a question. I have a question about the first question about the meaning of green trees. Um, if you took out the word green and just say he who produces fire for you from trees so that you use them to light your fires, if you took out the word green, would that change the meaning?
So that,
If you took out the word green
hmm?
and and it read, I mean, I know this is just
No, no, no.
impossible,
Go ahead, go
but
ahead. I didn't understand your word. That's it.
what if you took out the word green, how would that change the meaning?
Yeah, definitely. It wouldn't refer to resurrection. Good point. It wouldn't refer. Look, I am alive now, like a green tree, because Quran emphasizes. Quran doesn't say only tree. He says, emphatically says, الشجر الأخضر, which means green tree, a live tree, like your body is living now. Understood?
Yes, thank you.
Now, like you are living now, okay. When you die, when tree dies, green tree dies, it becomes wood. So your bones become dust, wood. Wood becomes, at the end, either fire or dust again. Ruts, at the end, dust. So this tree turns into wood like your dead body, and look, in the wood, in the wood, in the bone, there is a potential fire in it, comparing that. So what you do now, you take this fire and benefit from it, yeah, use them to light your fire, means that what I understand from your fire means that you really desire, as in your human senses, to be resurrected, to enjoy your further creation and be satisfied with it, satisfy your human expectations. You benefit from it. It is not, when the tree dies, it is no good anymore for nothing. No, look, it is good for you to use it, to utilize from it. So from there, out of wood, who can you imagine? We don't think what fire is. Then out of wood, fire is created. What is that? Fire looks like, represents some sort of life, some sort of, uh, uh, fire is the life side of wood. Like they can, what is fire? If you say them, it's energy. Yeah, energy, life, human feelings, they are all in the same category, non-material existence. Non-material existence. So the one who creates fire out of dead tree, wood, why not to create life out of dead bone? Do you see the reasoning of the Quran? That's why I understand this, rather than using the green tree as a source of fire, which is true as well. A certain tree, not every tree. Apparently in the old golden days, there was no matches or this kind of things known to the civilization. But they used to have their fire easily. They say, I don't know, I haven't experienced it. They use this kind of things. Also, there are certain stones, kinds of stones. When you hit them, fire comes out or sparkles comes out. For example, if you take a hammer and hit something very, strike something with the hammer very sharp, you said that fire is created there. So fire is not a matter, it is energy. And life is not matter. It is another kind of creation. Human spirit is another kind of creation. And human feelings are not really matter. No, we cannot explain them in material terms. No one can. But no one can deny human life. No one can deny human consciousness, human feelings, life, animal feelings. No one can deny. Definitely, dogs are completely different from dogs have completely different feelings than cats have, or I don't know, any other creature have, birds have. They have different nature, different qualities. Bodily wise, they have the same biological structure almost, although the shape is different, but structure wise, it's the same biology, biological entity. It means they have brain, they have eyes, ears, heart, and blood circulation, etc., digestive system, and reproduction system. They share the same thing, but no one can say that dogs are exactly like rabbits, for example. No one can say that. There is another entity in them which is not material entity at all. So these are of the same kind of categories. So material beings and non-material beings. So fire and wood, energy and wood, completely different natures. How completely different natures are combined in fire, in the existence of a tree, for example, it is exactly like your life, living body now. It will become a bone-like structure or bone-like existence. And then the one who creates fire out of bone, so out of wood, sorry, he can create life out of bone. What is irrational about it? If only you accept that tree is created, wood is created, fire is created. It means needs to be created. That's why if someone does not believe in God, we cannot, the creator, we cannot really talk about resurrection with this person. That is sure. So he must accept that he needs to be created. But if someone believes that I need to be created, I am a created being, I have a creator, does not necessarily that this person believes in the hereafter automatically. Hereafter, belief in the hereafter, belief in the resurrection is another independent entity in the list of belief articles, another independent existence. So belief in God is requirement, but not enough to believe in the resurrection. That's why Qur'an deals belief in the resurrection with different contexts. rather than belief in God context, independently deals with it. So this, do we notice that almost everything has a potential fire? Now, for example, I think we talked about it. Any more comments, concern, question, however you like to say something, share? Anyone? No?
I do want to make a short comment. I think it's interesting that you said that just because you believe you are created by a creator doesn't mean you believe in resurrection.
Yeah.
It's a separate article of faith. I never thought about that before. That's very interesting.
Yeah. Also, most of the people, unfortunately, because we don't study the Quran, I mean, Muslim population don't study the Quran in order to understand the basis of their belief. They may study the Quran just to read, how to read, which is necessary. Yeah, first stage. And some of them studies Arabic. It's not studying the Quran, it is studying the language. But we confuse. If someone knows Arabic and recites the pieces from the Quran, we think that they are scholars. No, they are scholars in Arabic, not in the Quran. So if someone really studies the Quran and gives the Arabic meaning to it, again, it is a profession or it is something good, but it doesn't mean that he studied the Quran in order to obtain evidence for belief matters. So what we are doing here, this side of the studying the Quran, belief documents, material, data, or evidence from the Quran. That is I believe it is the neglected side of the Quran nowadays. And the other studies of the Quran, Arabic, there are in America, let alone in Arabian countries, Muslim countries, in America, hundreds of institutions are teaching Quran, Arabic. Quran, in order to understand the Quran, the meaning of it, teaching Quran, how to read the Quran. Thousands of people, institutions are teaching how to read the Quran. Thousands of video recordings are available to teach this subject. But it is hard to find a video recording reading the Quran in order to really extract belief material in it. That is why I say this is the neglected side of it. The others are necessary and taken care of. I'm very happy that they are taken care of. Okay. But what is not taking care of this? Let me concentrate on it.
Can I
Inshallah.
ask a question?
Yes, of course.
Why do you think it's neglected?
Sorry, neglected.
Uh-huh.
Because people take their belief from the beginning. That's what I feel. They look at the things, it's impossible. It is impossible this universe, the things, the animals may come out of accident at all and matter at all. Definitely there must be a creator. Look at the universe, impossible to explain it. They don't believe in materialistic interpretation. It happened to be like, come on, don't tell me stories. It is impossible. Every animal, every plant has its own unique characteristics. And every plant and every animal, thousands, hundreds of thousands, and also included microscopic creatures, viruses or something, billions of different creatures, living creatures exist, and all of them are perfect within themselves. Impossible to happen by itself. Don't miss stories. That is correct. And then they say, period. I believe in God, finish. I believed in God, finish. If I believe in God, religion must be correct. If this person is within Christian community, he will say Christianity has a solid base, I follow. If he is a Jew, Hindu, according to their cultural heritage, they will follow. Muslims do the same thing in general. In general. Now, they say, do you believe in the hereafter? Of course. Why? Quran says so. Do you believe in angels? Of course. Why? Quran says so. Do you believe in prophet? Of course. Quran says so. I had a conversation with a young college student. He went and joined religious, people privately doing this kind of educational institutions. And they said Muhammad was a perfect person. And this person is really investigating. And he said, how do you know it is perfect? Don't you believe in the Quran? So the Quran says, you are perfect. A perfect example. Uswatun Hasana, the best example. So it must be correct. And what is left? All the elements of belief is referred to the Quran. Quran is referred to religious tradition. Religious tradition is accepted with the prior understanding and conviction that God must exist. Starting point is correct. The following needs to be studied and needs and heavy intellectual activity. And it is very easy to do physical work, but intellectual activity, thinking, considering deeply, reflecting is very hard. I know if someone says, come on, help us, we are going to buy a building or we are going to build a mosque in a plot, and everybody works there. But if you ask them, come and let's study and question like we are questioning this apparently seemingly simple verse, ayah, it is not very simple at all. Let's talk about it, they get bored. Now, there are many examples. People love to give money, people love to do physical actions in order to gain reward, God's reward. But when it comes to study and think, question, hard. That is why people take religion simple and just follow it as it is, having a good faith in what they hear in the name of religion because of this prior conviction. I am not saying these people are not believing. No, prior conviction that God must exist. There must be a creator. That is why people don't study Quran from belief perspective. But when somebody criticizes or somebody rejects the belief matters, of course they say, they don't believe, leave them alone. Leave them alone. They are unbelievers, disbelievers. Forget about them. They cannot bring really evidence because they don't have it. Unfortunately, this is the case as far as I understand. We have to think about ourselves and about our own responsibility. Inshallah. Does it make sense? Or
Oh, yes, it does. Thank you so much.
so inshallah, we have to take it and we have to be patient. It doesn't happen overnight. We have to be patient and we have to really think, reflect on the subject. I am moving on if there is no more comment or question. All right. Now the following verse generalizes this analytic thinking, generalizes the questions and analytic thinking. Now, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, it says, verse number 81, section Yasin, أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بلى وهو الخلاق العليم, which means, is it not possible for the one who created the heavens and earth to create same like this, like their creation? Exactly. Now, without finishing, coming to the end of the verse, you see the same reasoning is going on, although in different fields. To create the same like their creation. And the answer is, this is the question Qur'an asks and gives its answer. Yes, indeed. Bala means strongly, definitely yes. This kind of bala, not na'am. I mean, how do you say it? Exactly, I agree, or something like that. Definitely, yes. Yes, indeed, it is translated. Now, for he is the continuously creating one. Khallaq, the all-knowing. So now he starts from he created. You are observing it, but of course we know this creation is continuously taking place, but not everybody can understand and grasp it. And also in our daily experience, we only see, this is created, isn't it? Yeah, I said this is created, practically speaking. And widening our vision to the universe wide, saying the one who created the heavens and the earth, everything on it, is he not really able or cannot be able to create the same like their creation? However, he created the universe as it is. I'm experiencing. Go back to the previous verse. Though seems to be irrelevant, but it is really irrelevant. He created the green trees. However, whoever has created the green tree, whoever is created the whole universe, isn't he or cannot he create the same one again? Oh, definitely, because now the subject is getting finer, finer. He is the one who, anyways, not only creates and lives the creation on its own, but continuously creating one. And he knows definitely what he is doing. All knowing. It means knowingly doing this change of creation from one state into another. If you look at on a daily basis, now, yesterday was a completely different experience of existence that we really tasted, experienced it. Today is different. So, continuously changing way of creation. Winter is different, summer is different, night is different, daytime is different. Yesterday, today are different. Come back now. Morning is different, afternoon is different, evening is different. Squeeze the time, get the time space shorter and shorter and shorter. We see that the creation is taking place continuously. That's why the two types of this halakha in the Quran is used more than 160 times. The word halakha, and it is used in the Quran, the same word, root word, 61 different forms. So important, as if Quran is in general introducing the 61 different aspects of acts of creation. Incredible, this heavy reference to creation, act of creation in the Quran. So we have to take existence into consideration seriously in order to understand the message of the Quran. One of the main backbone of the Quran is the word khalaqa, this word here. Here in the one verse, it is used in three different forms. Khalaqa, he created, literal meaning. Yakhluqu, he creates continuously. Al-Khallaq, he is the continuously creating one. Now, if someone cooks only once, I cooked it. He is a cooker, or it's not. You don't say he's a cooker. He is a cook. He is a cook. Now, who did this? Now, I may be not using this English version of it. Somebody is making a dress. Now, you can say, I saw this dress. But if someone has a profession of continuously making dresses, clothes, it is called tailor. It means his profession is doing this. So in Arabic, somebody creates, it is called khaliq. Somebody's profession is continuously to create, it is called khallaq. Khallaq. So all the words in Arabic has this form khallaq, khabbas, dayyan, this kind of form of the verbal usage means professionally, continuously does this. Does whatever the meaning of the word is. So three of them are used here. First, as if invites us to look at a static universe. But the second, he says, well, it is continuously changing, isn't it? In its existence. So the source of the continuously changing existence introduced in the Quran as Khallaq. It means continuously creating one. But, excuse me. Continuously creating one. So let's go question 1, 2, 3 together. Do we notice that the evidence for resurrection and the hereafter was referred to what already exists now in front of our eyes? We studied khalaqa, it means created. He created, it means as if static universe. And then, would you like to talk about the first question? Anyone? Okay, move to the second. The difference between khaliq and khalaq, I think we discussed this. Khaliq means created once, maybe occasionally. Khalaq means professionally doing continuously. So when you read the Quran, you will pay attention to this kind of differences slowly, inshallah. In the course of time, you can develop this habit of, this is not Khaliq, this is Khalaq. This is not really, for example, somebody may say, oh, he is the creating one or creator, all-knowing. Translate Khalaq as the creator. Because most of the, not most, I don't know, most or less, I have no idea. But some translators even don't know this simple difference. While they are translating, they take it easy. People know it as creator. Why do I explain it? He is the one professionally, continuously creating one, or the creator one. Make it simple. Of course, misses the point, but we cannot say anything. Or whether knowingly or unknowingly, I don't know. But really, there are some people who really knows what he's talking about. And they wrote translations as well, books. So we don't blame anyone, and we don't know who is who. But we have to watch out. There are some of them really take it easy without knowing, maybe copy pasting from others and making it in a recombination. And because translation of the books are really well sold books, so the people are free to do everything. So the last question is, the Quran brings evidence from creation, not from belief in the news of the Quran. This is the last point, that we don't believe in the hereafter, resurrection, just because Quran mentioned. So belief in the Quran is an independent article in the articles of faith. Belief in the resurrection is an independent article. Belief in God is an independent article. So although they may support each other, of course, if someone doesn't believe in God, we cannot talk about resurrection, belief in the resurrection. If someone says matter is happening by itself, how can I explain, or how can I talk about angels? Because it doesn't accept a conscious creation. So, but if someone says, I believe in the creator, do you think he can see while looking at I'm looking at a tree now in front of me, so just next to me. So while looking at a tree, does he see angels? No. Does he deny belief in angels? No. But why does he believe in angels? If you ask them, as Muslims, if you ask them if he's a Muslim, he will say, definitely I believe in angels. If you ask them, why do you believe? He will definitely say, Quran says so. Yeah? Have you seen any angels? No, but Quran says so. There must be. Do you think God because he believes that Quran is God's word. God will tell me a lie. But of course, it is okay for most of the uneducated people or not well-educated people in religious matters. But we have to have a firm, consolidated, supported by evidence, belief in every article. So independently, we have to study them. So as the Quran also, as we are seeing it, Quran is also inferring that when you believe in resurrection, I am just teaching you and providing you with evidence so that you can confirm your belief in resurrection. But benefit from my guidance, utilize it. And what we are doing here, inshallah, the same, utilizing the Quranic method to understand how we should look for, search for evidence to believe in resurrection, search for evidence to believe in the resurrection under the guidance of the Quran, and think about the evidence for resurrection independently from the news of the Quran that there will be there will definitely be resurrection. All human beings will definitely be resurrected. I say, okay, this news of the Quran, I confirm it now. That is called belief in the Quran now. So we have to use the guidance from the Quran, but come back to confirm this guidance is a right guidance. That establishes the belief in the Quran as to be the word of God, the creator. But resurrection evidence is different, but used to confirm the Quranic message as to be the word of God. So they are related to each other, but each of them are independent entities or articles of faith. Any more? Anything? Any comment that you would like to share? I think the time is up, and inshallah next week, let's aim to finish, because we have two more very important verses, extremely important verses. Yes, Muawiyah.
Assalamu alaikum. I had a question about the last two words. In this, could you go back?
Of course. Yeah, which one?
No, the next one. What we were just talking about. Yeah. Is there a reason why he used or why the verse or the last two is khalaq and alim, like al-alim, instead of like any other names? Like why those two specifically in this context?
Yeah, thank you. It's a good point. Now, knowing the creating, consciously creating, knowing each and every detail of creation, deliberately, purposefully arranged and created, Alim and Khalla. Now, creating means bringing something in lump. No, every piece in every part. Oh, here it is. I'm just looking at the tree and giving the example of the tree. Now, every cell of the tree is knowingly created with a perfect, very complicated, but no contradiction at all, perfectly, harmoniously working way. This definitely necessitates knowledge. Without knowing, you cannot create with these details perfectly. So we cannot see anything which in it is details perfectly arranged creation. nothing, everything perfectly arranged. So that needs consciously, knowingly creation. Good question. I mean, the more you ask, the deeper meaning you get. Yep.
I 100% agree with you, and what you said is what I was thinking as well. But then I thought about why wasn't like a name like Al-Qadir used instead, or Qadir? Why wasn't one of those used? Because I think if I'm not wrong, I think Qadir means like all able, like as in like you're able to create everything to like a very fine degree. If I'm like maybe I'm wrong, but wouldn't that
No,
be more appropriate?
you are right. For example, if the Quran used here Qadir, which in other context he uses it, the related to resurrection, he is Qadir to do that. It means powerful. He has the power. He has the power to do that, to make it. But in this context, the question was previous, because the context is follow each other. So that this one. So now he argues about us while he overlooks how he he himself was created. He says, who will give life to decayed bones? Living beings again, creating it in a living being, forgetting about his own creation right now. So the line of thinking continues with Khalaq, it means continues the creator, and Alim, but knowing the creator, not unknowingly doing something, but it doesn't mean anything. There is no purpose in its existence. So here also, bikulli khalqin alim. He has knowledge of every act of creation. Verse 79, knowledge and creation, knowingly, deliberately arranged creation. And then here, الذي جعل لكم, and here, وهو خلاق العليم. Again, same context is consolidated with evidence. Good point. Very good point. Thank you. You are right. So you are getting used to, how to reason about the Quran, mashallah. That is why we have to use how can I make sense of this verse? Does it really make sense to me or not? Sorry, I think if you have some more questions, I am ready. I am not in a hurry. Otherwise, the time is up. So I see no voice, no. Okay. Hand raising, and what is their hand? So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Wa akhiru da'wahum and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Next, inshallah, Monday, we are going to study how this be and it is explained in the Quran. Although we very frequently refer to it, but specific verse is just 82. So following this one, and also last conclusion of the section 83, and this is a very generalization of how we should understand God and the act of creation, and really the peak of the subject is the last verse. So next week, inshallah, we will have a precious and heavy topic to deal with. We will pray to Allah.